What do you get when you take one of the best-selling whiskies in the world and then mature it in some double charred barrels? You get Jameson's Black Barrel. Now there's a lot more to it than that. This whiskey also contains a larger amount of single pot still whiskey. It's got less grain in it than the regular Jameson's does. It has a different label. And for those of you that can remember way back, this never used to be called Jameson's Black Barrel. It at one point was called Jameson's Select Reserve. And it used to come in a slightly different packaging, but Black Barrel is what it's more famously known as now. That's it really. It's a slightly different blend. We've got more single pot still whiskey, less grain whiskey. It's mostly matured in ex-bourbon, and then this particular batch is then finished in double charred wood. So wood that has already been charred, more likely by an American cooperage or an American distillery. That's made its way over to Ireland, and then Jameson's coopers have charred that again. And with Jameson's being a whiskey that is very much driven with vanilla and butterscotch and caramel, it makes everything that little bit better, in all honesty. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, you may see this. We have an actual whiskey shelf now. So you'll be able to, I'll do like a full tour and breakdown of that quite soon. But let's get on with this. I have it here in the glass. This retails for about £40 in the UK. However, I picked this up on a deal in a supermarket for about £28, which is pretty ridiculous. Can't think of many other whiskies in the world you can get for £28 that are this sort of viscous and easygoing. Beautiful body to it. It is a 40% alcohol whiskey. It is chill filtered and it does contain colouring, but when you're buying at this price point, those aren't necessarily the things you're looking for. But it is really nice and oily. It's got a beautiful colour to it, even though it's not necessarily natural. And the aroma is all classic Jameson's. It is, as I already said, butterscotch and vanilla. You get a little peppery bite from the grain, which I always find quite interesting with Jameson's, but it never comes across as offensive. It's always quite welcoming, which is quite unusual. You've got these incredible like honeysuckle, like fresh meadow flower kind of aromas too. It's just really, really approachable. I mean, it's currently, we're just coming off the back of 3 30-degree days in a row, which is pretty rare for us. And as you can see, this has been going down quite a storm. I had bought this quite a while ago, but this is what I've been drinking. Because it's such an easy drink. Like, I love the regular Jameson's. It's something which is just in the house all the time. But yeah, this is quite a step up in style, I must say. But still gives you an easy drink with a decent amount of flavour. Something weird I get off this too, which is not something I associate at all with Jameson's, or any Middleton product actually, is lemon. But specifically, it is quite zesty. You do get that kind of like lemon zest, sweet, tart, refreshing kind of thing from it. But there's also this baked lemon quality to it. And that again adds another layer of almost, I suppose it's more of a connotative thought than it is an actual flavour profile. But when I think of baked lemon, my brain thinks about roast chicken and herbs and rosemary and all that kind of stuff. And you can get down that way with this, but it instantly sends you back to butterscotch and caramel and fudge. It's just so unctuous and delicious and sweet. It's just lovely. But anyway, let's taste it. Let's see what's going on. First whiskey of the day. So it's a little bit spicier than what I would want it to be. I'm just going to kind of ignore that. I'm going to take a little sip of water. We'll go for another one, just because you do have to awaken your palate. It is only 11:30 in the morning. As with all Jameson's products, including things up to Middleton Very Rare, and even things above that, I get the grain first. And the grain always comes across as this soft, woody, what's the word I was going to use? It's like soft, woody, kind of pencil shaving, like that smell of like freshly cut wood, no matter how you think about it. Then that lemon note just kind of moves around your palate quite a lot. It's really interesting and different. And then your mouth just gets flooded with all of that beautiful, rich, custardy, creme brulee, burnt sugar note. It's just lovely. Like, it's such a good value bottle of whiskey that at £40, a lot of people might be like, oh, well, for for like 38 I can get this or whatever, and that's fine, you know, you drink what you drink, you like what you like. But on offer, like when you can get this thing for below £40 a bottle, I honestly think if you like Irish whiskey in general and you're not a fan of peated whiskies, which might be one of the reasons you're drinking Jameson's anyway, this is just unreal for the money. Like, great value, well put together, big brand. Don't really seem to mess around with it that much. Like, you know, even though it's chill filtered and it has colouring, you have to give plaudits to Middleton, because when they're onto a winner, they know, and they don't mess around with it, they just keep it as it is. Age on this stuff is a non-age stated whiskey. Standard Jameson's is about 6 to 7 years old. I imagine this might push maybe towards 8. That's an assumption, I don't necessarily know that, but it does taste a little more intense. But that could also just be down to the double oak, or the double charred oak maturation. One last sip and then we'll score this for you all. Sweet, lemony, woody. You get this beautiful charred caramel. Creme brulee is one of my favourite desserts, and this just reminds me of it in absolute bucket loads. I love it. I think it's a fantastic bottle of whiskey for the money, and even for £40, it's a lot better, I will say, than certain sort of foundation bottles, even within Scotch single malt, one of which we'll be talking about next week. But I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's an absolute delight. If you are struggling in this really intense summer heat in the UK, or indeed anywhere in the world, buy yourself a bottle of this. It drinks really well neat. I imagine it drinks well on ice, and it makes a really nice highball cocktail as well. I've not tried it in an old fashioned, but I may try that tonight. But thank you all for watching. This is Jameson's Black Barrel, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.